7 months ago, Donald Trump's Attorney General Pambondi went on Fox News and made one of the biggest mistakes of her career. Sitting in front of the cameras, smiling with confidence, she said, "The Epstein files are sitting on my desk right here." That single sentence changed everything because, in that moment, she confirmed what so many people already suspected, that Trump's inner circle had its hands all over the Epstein case. Those words sent shock waves through Washington. Within hours, news outlets began digging. If the Epstein files really were sitting on her desk, what was in them? What did she know? And who was she protecting? Because the name Jeffrey Epstein isn't just a story about one man and his crimes. It's about the network of power that surrounded him. The people who visited his homes, who called him a friend, and who now pretend they barely knew him once the truth came out. After that interview, Trump's team went into damage control. Bondi stopped talking. The White House refused to comment, and Trump himself suddenly acted like he could barely remember anyone involved. "Just yesterday in the Oval Office," he said, "I haven't heard that name in so long." When asked about Ghislaine "Really?" Because just a few months ago when she was arrested, Trump looked straight into the camera and said, "I wish her well." That's not confusion. That's strategy. He was trying to distance himself from something that could destroy him. But today, that wall of silence began to crack. Pambondi had to face the Senate Judiciary Committee, and what followed was a public meltdown. Unlike anything we've seen from an attorney general in years. It began with Senator Dick Durbin from Illinois. Calmly, he asked, "Were you consulted by the White House before the National Guard was deployed into American cities?" Bondi refused to answer. "I'm not going to discuss internal conversations with the White House," she repeated. Durbin pressed again, and she fired back with a line that made jaws drop. "I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump." Here's the thing. She wasn't speaking from the heart. She was reading from her notes. You can see it in the footage. She looked down, reading a pre-written insult instead of answering a simple question. She came to the hearing prepared not with facts, but with attacks. Durbin called her out on it, saying, "That's the kind of testimony we've come to expect from this administration." And he was right. Then came the real bombshell. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse brought up Epstein. He asked her, "There's been public reporting that Jeffrey Epstein showed people photographs of Donald Trump with half-naked young women. Did the FBI find those photographs in their search?" Bondi froze. She could have denied it outright. She could have said, "No, those photos don't exist." Instead, she attacked the senator. "You sit here making salacious remarks, trying to slander President Trump," she snapped. But then she made a mistake. Under her breath, she muttered, "Some photograph with Epstein." That small phrase changed everything. She didn't say no. She didn't deny it. She accidentally confirmed that there might be photographs connecting Trump to Epstein. You could see the panic flash across her face when she realized what she had said. The room went silent. Whitehouse pressed again, but she refused to answer. The silence spoke louder than any denial ever could. Then came another round of questions. Senators asked who ordered the FBI to flag Trump's name in the Epstein files. Bondi refused again. "I'm not going to discuss that," she said. They asked about the $50,000 in cash allegedly delivered to Tom Homan. Again, she refused to answer. Repeating the same robotic line, the investigation found no credible evidence of wrongdoing. But that wasn't the question. The question was, where did the money go? By this point, Bondi was visibly nervous. Her tone shifted. She started talking faster, interrupting more, dodging even the simplest questions. Hours passed and her patience began to crumble. That's when Congressman Adam Schiff stepped in. He asked whether she had fired career prosecutors who worked on cases related to January 6th. She dodged again. Schiff pressed her harder. And then right there, on live television, Pambondi snapped. She started shouting, "Apologize to Donald Trump, apologize," over and over, cutting off the senators mid-sentence. Schiff stayed calm and said, "You can attack me later. This is an oversight hearing." But Bondi kept yelling until the chair had to call the room to order. It was chaos, a complete breakdown. You could see it in her eyes, frustration, anger, fear. She wasn't there to protect the truth. She was there to protect Trump, no matter what. Every time Epstein's name came up, she looked down. Every time Trump's name was mentioned, she got defensive. Every time someone said, "photographs," she fell silent. That's not the behavior of a confident leader. That's the behavior of someone who knows the truth could ruin everything. This hearing exposed something much deeper than one woman's poor performance. It revealed how far Trump's loyalists are willing to go to defend him, even when it means humiliating themselves in front of the entire country. Pambondi didn't act like an attorney general. She acted like Trump's personal bodyguard. She wasn't defending the law. She was defending a man who has spent his entire life bending and breaking it. And it's not just Bondi. This is the same pattern we've seen again and again from Trump's people. When confronted with evidence, they deflect. When faced with accountability, they attack. When they can't explain something, they scream witch hunt. It's the same script every time, and today it played out in real time. Even conservative commentators couldn't defend her. One viral post said, "Pambondi looks like she's auditioning for Trump's approval, not answering questions." And that's exactly what it was. A loyalty test broadcast live on national television. But here's what they don't want you to realize. Every dodge, every refusal, every silence tells us more than any confession could. By refusing to answer questions about the Epstein files, she confirmed they exist. By refusing to explain why Trump's name was flagged, she admitted there's something to hide. By refusing to say who gave the order to suppress it, she showed that someone powerful is pulling the strings. This story isn't over. The Senate will keep investigating. More witnesses will come forward. The truth will surface, because lies can delay it, but they can't bury it forever. Pambondi's meltdown wasn't an accident. It was the visible crack in a wall that's starting to crumble. Trump built his empire on loyalty, not honesty. But loyalty doesn't last when the consequences become too real. People break, secrets slip, and the truth finds a way out. When those Epstein files finally come to light, and they will, it won't just be about one photo or one scandal. It will expose years of corruption, manipulation, and protection for the powerful. It will show who they really were behind the curtain. So remember what you saw. Remember the silence, the anger, the panic, because that wasn't strength. That was fear. That was the sound of power losing control. If you believe the truth still matters, share this story. Stay informed, because accountability doesn't begin in Washington. It begins with people like you, who refuse to stay quiet when the powerful try to hide behind lies. And as the cracks keep spreading, remember this: the truth always wins in the end. No matter how long they try to bury it, the truth has a way of breaking through the surface when they least expect it.